So hey everyone, and in this video we are going to learn about AWS S3. So basically what is S3? So if you want to store something like your images, videos, PDF files or any other kind of document, Excel sheet, PPT, whatever you want, you can store it inside S3 and then you can share it anywhere. For example, you are creating YouTube. Okay, so you have videos on YouTube. So where are these videos actually stored? So you can assume that if YouTube is using Amazon AWS, so they would be using S3 for storing those videos. Okay, and there are different services in AWS, like we have EC2 for handling the backend, handling the server. We have we have IAM for managing the users, like the users which are allowed to use this AWS server. And then we have a lot of different servers. We have Lambda. Then for ML we have different other services. For storing images or any kind of file, we have S3 service. Okay, so the full form of S3 is simple storage service. Okay, so let me just draw a figure for you. So guys, basically what actually happens is, what I told you is, this is AWS. AWS has a lot of service. We have S3 service, we have EC2. Each of them have different purpose. Okay, we have Lambda. So personally, I have used these two a lot, S3 and EC2, for hosting one projects. So what it actually does is, S3 is used for storing files. Okay, S3 is used for storing files like images, videos, etc. EC2 is for handling your backend. If you're creating your Node.js backend or any kind of backend, you'd be storing the backend code here in EC2 service. Okay, in S3 you're gonna store your files. Okay, similarly for Lambda you do different tasks. Okay, but yeah, this is the purpose of each. So right now we are learning about S3. We actually have one more service, that is IAM, which is exclusive for the users of AWS server. Okay, that means admins and root user only, not the customers. So yeah, it's for only admin and root users which are allowed to use your server. Okay, so IAM service also here, which we have already covered in previous video. We have already covered this IAM service, so you can check out my previous video and please watch this so that you can understand S3 today. Okay, so now personally, if I talk about S3, I used it a lot for storing files like images, videos, PDF, document files. Any kind of files can be stored here. So what actually happens is, you have a S3 service in AWS. What you would actually do is, you would create a lot of buckets here. Okay, at max I think a user can create 100 buckets. Okay, so bucket you can consider as a folder. Okay, bucket is simply like a folder. Okay, where you would be storing a lot of files. Okay, video file, image file, whatever file you have, you can create subfolders inside the bucket, but you can consider one bucket means one folder. That means a folder for specific project, another folder for specific project. So you can say that this is for, suppose, a one project which is for educational website, so it would be storing videos or files according to that. This would be bucket 2 for a one project or any other kind of project for e-commerce website. This is a third project for food delivery website. So we have 3 buckets for 3 different projects, right? Here we would be storing files, videos, images of the e-commerce website, educational website, and food delivery website, just like that. Okay, so if I talk about this, here we would be having some subfolders also. We can create some subfolders. If you don't want to create, that's also fine. But a bucket would be some category. You can just consider it as just a category, your one project, files of one single project. Okay, that's what a bucket is, right? Similarly, you have bucket 2, similarly bucket 3, and as you can maximum create 100 buckets. Although you won't be creating 100 projects, but still, if you're creating 100 projects, then you can create maximum 100 buckets. Okay, for 100 projects. Okay, yeah, you can't create more than 100 buckets, but each bucket has unlimited storage. Yeah, definitely you have to purchase things later on. Initially you get some amount for free, but yeah, later on you have to purchase AWS. You get some more storage later, but yeah, you can extend as many storage, as many GBs you want. That's totally fine. Okay, so that's the bucket is, and that's S3 for you. S3 simply means simple storage service. Okay, simple storage service, very easy, right? So right now you can see I'm logged in as a root user. Okay, so what I'll do is, right now I'm logged in as a root user. I hope you have watched my IAM video. Let me just delete all the other users for now, okay, which I have here, so that things are from scratch. So let me just delete the user groups which I have here. I've created this group in the previous video, you can check out that. I'm just deleting it so that you are clear what we have, what settings we have till now. Okay, so yeah, you can see I deleted this. I also will delete these admins. Okay, delete. Okay, so you can see that now they are being deleted, and similarly we have created a policy. I think, okay, yeah, we have to go to customer manage, and here you can see we created this policy. Okay, so I'm just gonna delete this temp policy. I just named it just like this. Okay, so temp policy, by temp policy, double P. Okay, fine. So you can see that now there are no users, there are no user groups, and no nothing, no permissions. Okay, so let's do one thing, guys. I'm gonna create a user group. So I'll just create a group here. Let's name this group as Mon, because we are creating Mon project. We are going to host Mon project, suppose. So I'm gonna create some group for that, so that all of the users have some specific permission. You can create a group, you can create policies also if you want. Okay, so right now you can see that that's it, and I'm gonna named it. Right now I don't have any users. I'm not going to add it from here. I can add it from here also. Okay, let me just create some users. Okay, so I'm first going to create some users. I'm just going to create one user named as Viraj Jain, admin. Okay, right now I'm only going to create one user, and yes, I want to use console. Yes, create I am user, custom password. So I'll just choose a password like HJ at the rate 12345 6, although I have to change this password later on, but for now I'm choosing this simple password. Okay, simple password, right? Simple password. Okay, so yeah, the next time when this user would log in, then they would change the password. I hope you watch my IAM video, you will understand this. But right now I'm just created a IAM user, that means some admin. I am the root user, but I have created some people under me who are going to manage this server. Okay, some specific permissions. So for now I've just created it. Next, and you can see next. Actually, previous, you can see that here we have some things here. So if you want to attach some policies, or you don't want to do anything for now, I'm just going to just hit it for now. So I'm just going to say there are no permissions for now. So I'm just going to create this user. You can see that now the user is created. Okay, so now I'll just go to users list, continue, and you can see that one user is created. Now I'll just go to user groups. Actually, I'll go to policies. Okay, I'm gonna create one policy, create policy. Okay, and here I'll just name this policy. Okay, I'll just first of all choose the service. So I want to use EC2 for one. Okay, so I'll just select this, and I'm selecting all of the things, all of the permissions. You can just be more specific if you want, but right now I'm just selecting everything. I have all the permissions for EC2. Okay, then I go next. Actually, I can remove the write permissions if I want. I can only give the read permissions, that actually more secure. But if I think as a sub user, as an admin, you must be allowed to do things. Okay, so I'm just doing it that way. But yeah, if you want to remove any permission, you can definitely do it by editing, or you can do it by creating things here. Okay, so I'm just gonna name this policy as MERN policy, and let me just name this policy as uh 2024 02. Okay, 0209. Now I'm naming it just like the date, so that the order is good. Okay, now you can see, you can give a description if you want, and I think this is fine. Okay, so I'm just going to name it as temporary or something else if I want. Later on I can delete this. Okay, so temp, or I'll just leave it as it is. Okay, so here you can see that that's the name, and I can actually add more services to this. Just give me a second, and here I can just add more permissions. I want to use S3 also, so I'll just select S3 here. Okay, and even if you miss out something for right now, later on you can edit this, so don't worry about it. Okay, so I've just added this permissions, so you can see that now I have two permissions. I think now task would be done. If you want to add something else like lambda, you can also add it here, or later on when we create this policy, after that also, after a few days, if you feel like to remove or add permission, you can do this very easily. Please watch my previous video on IAM users, you will understand that. The link is available in the description. Okay, so if I click on create policy, okay, sorry, you have to give the policy name, it just got erased. So MERN policy 240902. Okay, so yes, if I just now click on create policy, you can see that now, guys, the policy has been created. To watch that policy, you just need to go on customer manage, and you'll see this, that just now we created this. Now guys, if I go to users, you can see we have Viraj admin. Now what we need to do is, we can just go to user groups. You can create a user group, or you can directly assign policy to this user. That's also fine. I'm just going to create a user group, because later on we'll be creating multiple users, so I'm just going to create a user group. Okay, I'm just gonna say mon, or I'm just gonna create one project. For example, I'm gonna say that education or something, anything you can give. For I'm just gonna give I'm just gonna give that name as mon user temp. Okay, I'm just creating a temporary group, so temp1, it's something like that. Okay, now I want to add this one user. I can add multiple users if I want. Okay, whatever users I want. And then after that, guys, I would just come here, and here I would just select on customer manage, and here I just have to select the policy. Okay, and just now I created this policy. If you have multiple policy, you can pick anyone which you want for that specific group. Now I've given permissions, two permissions, EC2 S3 to that specific group, one user temp. Now what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to say that here Virajan admin is now in which group? It's in one users group, right? So you can see that it has this one policy automatically. Okay, perfect. So now you know that this user has access to all both of the things, EC2 and S3. You can see permissions are EC2 and S3. Okay, perfect. I hope everything is clear till here. Now what you need to do is now I'm going to explain you what is S3 public for now. Okay, we are going to understand S3 private later on, but right now let's understand S3 public. Okay, so in short, if I want to explain you what we actually have is, if I talk about S3 public, okay, there are actually two types of permissions in S3. Actually, we are going to create buckets, right? So if the bucket is public, if the bucket inside S3 is public bucket, okay, we can create multiple buckets. I told you that suppose your bucket is for now public. Okay, so this is suppose public. So what it means is, with just a small link, anyone can view your image or video or PDF, okay, with just a single link. Okay, but if I talk about private bucket, okay, so if I talk about private bucket, if the bucket is private, that means not everyone can see this. Only the people who have the token, we are going to provide a token, can access the image, video or PDF file. Okay, so that's the difference between these two. So for today in this video, we are going to explore the public bucket. In the next video, we're going to explore the private S3 bucket. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is I am just going to go to the services, and guys, in services I'm just going to select S3. You can see that I selected S3. Now here you can see right now I have one bucket. I'm just going to delete this bucket, so delete. Okay, so I'm just deleting some old bucket so that you don't get confused. So I'll just copy this and paste it here. Empty bucket. Okay, I have to empty this first and then I can delete this. Okay, please help me. Emptying the bucket deletes all the objects. Okay, I think, okay, I'll just delete this bucket manually from here. Although, yes, now I think I can permanently delete. Okay, so I feel too lazy doing this, but we have to just write things here. Okay, anyways, so now I'll just go to the bucket, and hopefully now we can delete this. Yes, so I've deleted my old bucket. So initially, if you haven't created a bucket, you would see something like this. You can create multiple buckets, just like we are creating a folder here. Okay, so create bucket, and here you can see that I've chosen my nearest. Automatically, it would come here, or you have to choose your nearest location. Okay, now I have to just name the bucket. So I'm just gonna say, let's name this bucket as Harshal Jan. I'm just gonna name it with today's date, so 2402. 09. Okay, that would be better. Okay, so you can see that now it's here, and now what I'm going to do is if you want to choose some specific settings of your old buckets, which we don't have any time right now, so but if you have any bucket whose setting you want to import, you can do it from here. Okay, and now I'm just going to make it ACL access control list for now disabled. Later on we'll check it, and we have block all public access. So if it's selected, that means your bucket is going to be private. Okay, so right now by default let's make it private, then we'll see. Okay, so right now you can see everything is fine. You don't need to do anything here. So if I click on create bucket, you can see that it would be created very easily. Okay, so now what would happen, let's come inside this, and you can see that this is the bucket. That means this is the folder. Here you can upload your images. You can create one more folder inside this, and then inside that folder you can create or upload images. Okay, so I'm just going to click on upload, and here I want to add file or folder, whatever you want, you can do this. folder under folder, just like your computer has. Okay, so yeah, you can see that I'm just selecting this image. You can select any video file or document, whatever you want. So I'm just selecting an image. Okay, just select this. You can select multiple files also. So now if I click on upload, you can see that now guys it's uploaded. So if I just close this, you can see that now one image is here. You can rename this image also by just going to the settings. Okay, right now you can see that this is the image. So if I click on this, you can see that right now I'm getting 6 permissions. Why? Because your bucket is private. If your bucket is private, then you would get this. Okay, and just remember this URL. You can see that this is a normal URL, right? This is a normal URL. There is no token, though there is no token. So if token is provided, then only this would be visible. Let's see. So how you would get the token? So actually if I click on this, you can see that with this token, you can see with this token, AWS security token, you can see now the image is visible. Okay, so this is for private. Okay, so we'll see private in more brief later on, but right now you can see that only with token the private bucket would be accessed. So now how to make it public? So for making it public, it's very easy. I'm just going to go to the permissions, not for this one, for the bucket. So I'm just going to go to this bucket. Okay, here just go to the permissions, and here guys we have this block called public. So I'm just going to click on edit, and now if I just select this and save changes, now I need to write confirm, CONFIRM. Okay, confirm. So if I just click on confirm, you can see that now public access is like now you can just do the public access. So let's try that again. Now let's try this again. If I click on this again, so you can see still there is an issue. Why there is an issue? You have given public access, but you haven't told the policy, what things you are allowed to do in public access. So for doing that, go back to the bucket which you are talking about. Just go to the permissions, and here you can see you have the bucket policy. So you have to write the bucket policy also. Okay, so here I can just copy it from Google, or I can use chat GPT. So whatever you want. I always use this. I don't remember the policy, so it's very time consuming and you have to save time. Okay, so I'm just gonna write AWS yeah, I've just searched for it. AWS public bucket policy. Just search for this and you'll get the documentation also, or if you want something you can just directly get it from there. I think they would provide it somewhere here. Yeah, you can see that you can just copy this if you want. Or what you can do is, if you want to get some reference, what you can do is just click on add some reference and S3, and if I select this, you can see that inside this action, if I search for get object actually, so I want to get some objects, I want to get some images. So you can see by default you would get something like this SID and this. Okay, so what you need to do is either you can copy it from here. Okay, either you can copy it from here, or if you want to be some more specific, you can directly just watch what I do. Okay, so just make this principal as star. That means I'm allowing all the things here. Okay, so just remove the brackets. Okay, then what else? Action. Inside action, what you need to do is you can see that we basically have some actions also. So inside guys, inside this action, what you need to do is you just need to add the action here. Okay, so for adding the action, okay, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. So if I select S3 here, and then I would just select object, get object. So at the end you have to make it something like this. You can search about this on ChatGPT. You can see that what actually happened. We just now have this. Okay, I'll just remove the old one. Two statements are created. So yeah, you have just created one statement. Okay, S3 get objects, so it would allow me to get things. Okay, similarly to add things also, you might just search about the actions. Okay, you can take help of ChatGPT also. Now if I talk about resource, okay, so what I'm saying is inside what you are taking things, so just select this specific bucket. I want to access things inside the specific bucket only. Okay, I don't want to have access of other buckets. Okay, so I would just paste it. Okay, in some cases you might need access of other buckets, you want to show images of other bucket also. In that case you just give a comma and then add other bucket. Okay, so you can see that yeah, we have added this. Okay, I hope this is visible. Okay, yes, you can see that. I hope this is visible. Okay, and you can see that inside principal, don't leave it as empty. Just do one thing, just hit double inverted commas and then this asterisk sign, and then you can see that it's done. Now after this, what you need to do is you just need to click on save changes. Now there is one error here. Action does not apply to any resource in statement. Guys, we were doing one mistake here. Just pass this slash and then just pass the asterisk. That means anything inside this bucket. Okay, that's it. Now if I click on save changes, you can see that now permissions are given. So now if I go to the objects, you can see that we have this image. Now if I just directly go to this, you would see that we have this. Okay, so you can see previously this was the case. Now if I just refresh this, you can see now it's visible. Okay, so that's how things are working here. This is about the public S3, right? So have you understood the purpose of public S3? I can create a folder also, like folder for images, folder for videos, separate things. Okay, so for now I'm just specifying nothing. So inside the images, I can upload more images. For example, I can just upload a file here. For example, we have some images here. Okay, right. So I'm just gonna pick this image for now. Okay, so if I click on open and I'll just select this and just click on upload, you can see that, guys, now it's uploaded. Now you can see that if I want to select this image, you can see that if I just directly click on this, you can see what it says. It just gives me the URL. So you can see this is the bucket name. Okay, this is the Amazon domain, and then after that we have images folder. This now we created, then the file name. So you can see it's very easy, right? So inside this bucket with the AWS domain, we have the images folder, we have the image. So it's very easy now, right? So this is about public S3. Although it's not very much recommended to use public S3 in a lot of cases, but still you can use it as a beginner, it's fine. Okay, so guys, I hope you understood this, and I hope you are going to use S3 now easily. So in the next video we are going to discuss about the private S3. So that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. Till then, say a good day. Bye bye.